Apple's upcoming iPhones are drawing attention not just for internal upgrades, but also for a distinct shift in exterior design. I've got my hands on the final design mockups for both the iPhone 17 Pro Max and the new iPhone 17 Air, based on the actual files that manufacturers use to tailor cases. Today's deep dive will compare these new models to their predecessors, the iPhone 16 Pro Max and iPhone 16, highlighting the form factor changes, refined aesthetics, and hardware updates Apple appears poised to deliver. First impressions: form factor reimagined. Pulling the iPhone 17 Air from its sleeve, the most notable change is its markedly slimmer body and slightly larger footprint. While it shares a similar 6.x-inch screen structure, Apple seems to have stretched the display to approximately 6.6 inches. In my hands, the difference is clear. It feels sleek, lightweight, and modern, yet unmistakably larger in dimensions. One of the standout traits of this Air model is its ultra-thin profile. Measuring just 5.5 millimeters thick, it is noticeably thinner than the iPhone 16 and even feels like a flattened version of it. Along the edge, the volume and power buttons have been further slimmed down, adding to the streamlined look. Despite this, the phone still feels sturdy, not fragile, but impressively minimal in form, a significant departure from Apple's usual thickness. Camera layout and rear design evolution. Turning the iPhone 17 Air over reveals a redesigned rear camera system. Apple has introduced a new horizontal camera bar at the top, housing the lenses, flash, and microphones in a single line. This contrasts sharply with the classic triangular layout seen on previous models. The shift places all camera elements to one side, creating a minimalist central panel devoid of any obstructions. In contrast, the iPhone 17 Pro Max retains the bar but adds richer spacing between each lens. While the arrangement feels familiar, the lenses seem slightly larger and more separated, hinting at improved sensors inside. The look is polished, but with clear intentions toward upgraded optical performance. Comparing thickness: Pro Max versus Air versus standard iPhones. Laying the iPhone 17 Air next to an iPhone 16 reveals the sheer thinness of the new model. On paper, 5.5 millimeters is significantly thinner than most phones today. Placing it beside the iPhone 16 Pro Max again confirms that the Air is easily a third slimmer. Even the Pro Max variant, although not quite as thin as the Air, seems marginally less chunky than its predecessors. Any increase is negligible to the naked eye. Apple seems to be pushing hard on this reduction while embracing slightly raised camera modules. The outcome is a device that is both slim at the body and unapologetically proud about its powerful camera hardware. Connectivity and SIM tray evolution. The Air model departs from physical SIM trays entirely, switching globally to eSIM only. My UK model still sports a SIM slot, highlighting how Apple is moving more aggressively toward eSIM. This shift simplifies the internals and makes the phone sleeker, but also signals Apple's push toward digital-only mobile profiles. Another subtle takeaway is how Apple refined its port aesthetics. The speaker grills are slightly smaller, and the USB-C port is now carefully calibrated, leaning just a touch off-center for yet unknown engineering reasons. These delicate design decisions reflect Apple's focus on minute details. Notable hardware enhancements. I want to highlight 3 big hardware upgrades across both iPhone 17 Air and iPhone 17 Pro Max. 1. RAM boost. Apple is reportedly moving from previous 8 GB of RAM to 12 GB in both models. This brings Apple's memory specs in line with Android flagships and ensures fluid performance under new demands, like the upcoming iOS 26 UI. 2. 120 Hz displays for all. For the first time, non-Pro iPhones will feature 120 Hz ProMotion-level screen refresh rates, meaning smoother animations, scrolling, and responsiveness across the board. This puts all users on equal footing when it comes to display quality. 3. Camera systems lead with 48 MP. All rear cameras on both phones will be upgraded to 48 MP. Even the front-facing camera pushes past the 12 MP norm to 24 MP, aligning it with expectations for clearer selfies, optimized video calls, and dynamic island capture upgrades. Handling and feel, real-world experience. Despite being based on models, these mock-ups already convey how it feels to grip both phones. The Air feels like holding a refined, flattened iPhone, almost like a document in hand, but remains comfortable. The Pro Max feels slightly broader, but with added padding around the camera bar. Trying one in both hands, it's clear that phones have settled into a new design chapter. Thinner bodies, bigger displays, yet still fundamentally iPhones from the front. Apple's focus on minimalist aesthetics is complemented by these tangible refinements. Conclusion: Apple's next step in design identity. What emerges from these previews is Apple doubling down. Thinner silhouettes, eSIM push, and bigger, more capable cameras. The Air, designed for elegance and portability, contrasts sharply yet harmoniously with the Pro Max, which retains its robust performance image while slimming core dimensions. Considering RAM, display, and camera advancements, these new models mark a meaningful evolution, not just a yearly refresh. Apple is stepping into 2026 with serious hardware upgrades that touch on user interaction, performance, imaging, and global connectivity.